Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 585 of the DrunkNerds podcast. As always, I'm Tyler. Don't laugh at me, Gables. I knew the number the entire time. As always, I'm Tyler. And join me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
585.
585.
585. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good, dude. On top of pretty busy past week and a half and stuff, what with the whole Black Friday retail stuff and sales going on, and also the beginning part of this week being pretty much busy and stuff. Having a relaxing end of the week is definitely a blessing in disguise. I mean, for God's sakes, I got a good solid like 5 days now of like rest, and that's this thing, man. I mean, it definitely feels nice. It definitely does feel nice. Well deserved too, because this year has been one hell of a freaking year. But other than that, though, I'm doing pretty well. Though,
You
how have
can't
you been
you
doing,
can't see, but I'm
Tyler?
giving you the DX suck it sign right now. Uh, I'm doing all right, man. I'm just all frustration is just pure jealousy towards you, and that's it. I'm happy for you though, getting that 5 days off. You deserve it. Happy for you, fucking asshole. But I'm doing all right. I am, it's the opposite for me. It's craziness, obviously. I am. It's that time of year, delivering packages. It's getting colder. We got snow. I don't like it. I'm going the stretch of year where it's gonna be no less free time than ever before, for basically until the new year. Very few days off, long hours. It's not gonna be fun. Not look forward to it, Gables. And I have like six goddamn games I want to play before the end of the year. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
at the point now where I'm like, I don't think any of these are gonna happen. So that's where I'm at. I mean, other than that, clanging, banging Gables. Gables, I got a question for you. What are you
Yeah, what's
hiding?
up?
Where the
What
fuck
am
are
I
you hiding?
hiding? In what
Gables,
context?
we know what context we're talking about here. I went. Yeah, I like to check up on my friends on their platforms of choice. I'm like, what are my friends been
Okay.
playing lately? I like to see like my best friend Justin. I'm like, how is he progressing in Spider-Man 2? How many hours does he put in? How many hours does Gables put into Mario RPG or
Uh
Super
huh.
Mario Wonder or I'll go on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Gables is playing this game or Justin's playing Halo Infinite right now. That's fucking awesome. And I go on with my good friends here,
Mm-hmm.
one of my best friends in the whole goddamn world. Somebody, my podcast partner, my life partner in podcasting for over a decade now. And I'm like, what has Gables been playing on the PlayStation? And I look, Gables, it's on private. And I don't like it. I feel like you're trying to withhold information from me when I share everything with you. You share everything with me. At least I thought we did. But now I'm finding out you're hiding things from me. And I don't feel like that's great for the trust of this relationship of the podcast.
To be perfectly honest with you, man, I mean, I'm not hiding anything really like crazy or anything else like out of the ordinary, any type of shit like that. Basically, I use my PlayStation platform to watch a lot of
Uh-huh.
YouTube stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, that's that, and this is that. But I haven't really been playing too much other stuff on the
I
PlayStation.
just want to know,
But
Gables, if maybe you haven't, and I just don't, but I don't know. And now I don't know, and it's driving me goddamn nuts, Gables, that I don't know what you're doing. I want to know what my friends are doing. I want to know what video game wise. I don't care what like day to day. I don't give a shit about that. I don't want to know what you're doing day to day. That's fine. Whatever you do in your day to day. What kind of porn you're watching? I don't want to know that. That's your own personal business, Gables. I don't need you to tell. I don't want to tell you my shit. I don't need you to tell me my shit. All right. But video game wise, I feel like we have a life contract, Gables here,
right,
and
right,
you're withholding information from me, and it just upsets me. That's all. I just wanted to talk about it. I think all great relationships are built on communication and trust. And I feel like
right,
this is our
right,
therapy session here, live and in color. Well, it's not live; it's being recorded now, but you'll see it in the future.
right.
But yeah, just a little, just a little peeved at you right now, Gables. I'm not gonna lie to you, a little upset.
I'm just saying that. In my defense, I have completely forgotten that I put in a lot of my stuff on private.
Just something to think about. It's like when you find out your significant
uh,
other has like a secret Snapchat you didn't know about. It's like, what the fuck's going on with that? What's going on over there?
uh,
Why you got a separate account? It's kind of what I feel like right now. I feel like you're maybe.
all this stuff, dude, like all the stuff that's racing in your heads right now. Is he playing what I think he's playing inside that stuff? Is he actually going through that? playing that series that who should
Oh
not be
God,
named.
yeah, no. I unfortunately you can't put if you could put yourself private on Nintendo Switch Gables, I prefer you did, so I don't see you playing that game over there. You little blue bitch. Um, people can't figure it out. It's just better you don't know. It's better that nobody knows what Gables does on the Nintendo Switch, and play with that fucking blue asshole, stupid fucking red friend, and flying thing with whatever. Anyways, just yeah, I feel like it needed to happen. Gables is a long time coming. Um, I feel it was better to say it now. Before I held it in longer and it blew up and it turned something bigger. And I'm glad we
Okay.
had this
Okay.
conversation. And I apologize if I overreacted. Um, but I feel like in the future, if you make such rash decisions, then maybe you should include me first. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Now that we got that out of the way, people, let's get on to the podcast. And
uh,
if you're wondering 5.5 minutes into this podcast now, what the fuck even is this podcast? Well, it is a podcast where Gibbles and I get together every week and talk about video games. And I drink a couple beers. Here I'm drinking a beer right now. And so, yeah, it's get together every week. So we've been doing this for over a decade now. This is episode 585. And we, like I said, talk about video games. That's Gables. I'm Tyler. We are just two guys do this for fun. We have full-time jobs that we don't get paid for this. We don't have subscribers. We pay money to do this actually. So if you can, give us a little thumbs up, or give us a little subscribe, follow us on all the socials. Check us out, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are at. Just look for Drunk-Nerds, Drunk Nerds. You'll find us on there. Give us a follow, leave a review, 5 stars that please. Leave a comment, share with your friends. Share is more important than anything. Really, just share. Tell more people about it. We really would appreciate it if you did that. So yeah, but Gables, without further ado,
mhm.
let's get into some of the news. Uh, Actually, before we get into the news, I'm sorry I forgot. We got to give out a special thanks to a good friend of ours that donated to both of our Extra Life account. Extra Life, if you don't know, is a charity that Gables and I do every year. This is the first Saturday of every
Yep.
November. We play games for 24 straight hours and raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So if you want
Yep.
to donate, actually, there's a link in the descriptions down below, and you can go there, look, search and look it up. It's a really really great charity that we've been doing for over a decade now each. And we have a friend of ours here, Tingle Fan 89. You know who you are. Thank you for your donation. We both appreciate it. You for doing that.
You
Yeah,
magnificent bastard. You were so
yes, you are.
awesome.
Well, I don't know if I want to say awesome. Uh, just thank you. Anyways, let's get into Gables to the news this week. We're kind of in. It's weird. Gables. Usually we go into this year is like a mini E3, where usually that like few weeks before E3 we're just bombarded with rumors of E3.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's leaks or rumors. Like, what's real, what's not. And this time, not seem obviously. I say that now. It's Saturday night. Saturday night now. Well, it's actually technically Sunday at midnight my time. Um, I say that, and like 15 things are going to leak between now and Game Awards on Thursday. But as of right now, of this recording, not a lot of information is out there. As far as like, there's been some hubbub I've been seeing out there. We've got some stuff going on. Like Xbox said they're going to have something there, possibly multiple things there. Sega has been teasing that they're going to have something there, or they're like basically saying they're going to have something there. But as far as that, like no major leaks, no major rumors. There's been some stuff like I've seen like on Reddit's and like people posting things about leakers that I don't really know anything about, but apparently they have some background on stuff. So I have a list here, Gables, of some things of like what could potentially be there, and I will make a couple predictions here what we think will be there as well for this. Last week, if you want to know
Okay.
predictions for the each award, Gables and I did that last week. If you want to check that out, go back episode 584. We did all that, so we broke down each individual category and gave our predictions on that. So this will just be kind of predicting and talking about what we think will be there. So starting off here, Gables, we know Xbox said they're going to be they'll have some there. They had a little bit of a backlash last year because they didn't have anything there. Like Phil Spencer was there, Sarah Bond was there, everybody, Matt Booty was there. They're all there in the audience. And like PlayStation had like Death Stranding 2 reveal. There was another trailer they had there for PlayStation. For life of me, cannot remember what it was. But they had multiple things there, and like like man, your biggest competitor is just like blew everybody away. Especially that Death Stranding 2 trailer was magnificent, and that's coming from somebody that beat Death Stranding and hated every minute of it. And kind of got some blowback there to the point that like Phil Spencer, I think it was Phil Spencer, no, Matt Booty did a tweet the next day about there'll be some Xbox news soon, and then we found out like 2 months later they had the Xbox Developer Direct and stuff like that. It turned out pretty good. So this is kind of like a make good. It sounds like of that from last year. Um, so they said that they sent the email out saying they're gonna be they'll be there. Um, Sarah Bond, who is the president of Xbox, tweeted the Xbox 360 logo this week,
Huh.
and that kind of made people go crazy about maybe some backwards compatibility with Activision Blizzard games. Um, so that's the kind of thing. But also, from what I understand, I don't follow her on Twitter or anything like that. But apparently, she tweets stuff like this every now and again, like just kind of like reminiscing tweets kind of thing. And maybe it's also a little bit of teasing as well. But kind of like Phil Spencer and his T-shirts every now and again. So there's that going on. Hellblade 2 has been rated in Australia, which people don't know. Usually, when like ratings come out for games, typically it's out not 100% of the time, but typically it's out within the next 3 months. So there's that.
Yep.
Clockwork Revolution, as well as South of Midnight. They're both revealed at the Summer Game Fest. There's been some back and forth on this. They're apparently they were on the Australian rating board, but it's kind of like a placeholder kind of thing. Like it's kind of like when you go like on Amazon, and you go on Amazon and you type in Metro Prime 4, and there's like a store page for it, but you can't like buy it, and there's no logo or anything like that. It's just like it's basically like a
Right.
page, and that's kind of what's
The
yeah, yeah, like a
stockholder.
placeholder kind of thing. And that's what it sounds like it is. But Gables, what from Xbox? What would you like to see? Like not even specifically, or like just general. What would you like to see? And what do you think would be disappointing from them to bring for Xbox fans?
All right. What I personally would like to see is anything in terms of backwards compatibility from previous generations. I mean, for hell's sake, it's like a lot of stuff they did with the backwards compatibility with like different games from the original Xbox and the 360 and stuff was awesome because they did cover a lot of different like games. They did cover a lot of different things that you could play on the current systems, and also Windows. But in regards to in regards to that, though, I mean, I know Microsoft in the past has said, "Hey, they were done with certain backwards compatibility stuff," but I could potentially see them having a whole lot of like Activision Blizzard like sort of like games or something like that being backwards compatible like fairly soon. I mean, the deal's already
Yeah,
done. It's already as good as done and stuff. And even if it's like say early 2024 or even towards spring and having a whole bunch of like stuff like content and stuff, that'd be awesome. I mean, I personally would love it if say they were able to get the Transformer
yes,
games. Like I'm talking about War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. Somehow get them on the backwards compatibility stuff or on Game Pass in
yeah,
some capacity because Activision put out these Transformer games that were really freaking good. I mean, at the time, they got like 80s or something like that, late 70s, early 80s in terms of reviews, but these were kind of like those type of sleeper under the radar like gems that people remembered fondly, especially like fans of that
yeah,
franchise. I mean, seeing games like that become backwards compatible or even like available in terms of playing, I mean, I would love to personally see that. But in terms of maybe like some that could be disappointing, I mean, honestly, what would be most disappointing if we're seeing like a whole bunch of like recap of a bunch of games they've already shown and stuff, but yet they don't give any type of release window in terms of what the initial games they have. Like say, for example, Hellblade 2, even though it was rated in Australia and stuff like that, they don't give us a solid date and it'll just say like, okay, it's just coming out in 2024 or something like that. That would be
yeah,
disappointing to me to some extent because of how long they've been working on this game. But yeah, even if they do that on top of like announce something that doesn't come out until like maybe another couple of years, I mean, that would be kind of disappointing to me. Bear in mind what type of property that it's going to be based off of. But Here's one thing that could potentially be disappointing is if there are like a bunch of like say new IP stuff that or one new IP stuff that Microsoft tries to present or something that just completely falls flat in terms of interest. That I know that would be personally disappointing to me. But that being said, though, there can be a lot of things that could go right. Obviously, if say Activision Blizzard has backwards compatible stuff of any kind or something on say like Game Pass, or if say we get exact dates, like say if Hellblade 2 comes out in say I don't know March, early March or something like that, that'd be awesome. Or just basically anything really game related that people have been clamoring to want to see for a while, or something that they didn't think they need until you finally announce something. Just a lot of like fan friendly
Yeah,
stuff. A lot of like gamer friendly stuff. That's what I personally and first and foremost want to see happen in terms of what Microsoft
yeah,
would be doing.
yeah. I'm pretty much 100% with you on that. Gables is like, I've seen some people out there. What if it's Indiana Jones? What if it's Gear 6 announcement? It's like, problem is it's the thing we've been talking about forever. And this thing Phil Spencer said several years ago is like every year at like E3 and Summer Game Fest, whatever. Well, E3 back when E3 was still a thing. He always talked about every year PlayStation's putting out Game of the Year contenders and we're putting out CGI trailers. And that was the knock against them for
Yep.
several years. It's like either they didn't have games at all, or everything we've been seeing from them was the CGI trailers, and we'd have years in between. That's kind of, I mean, going into this generation, I've talked about multiple times. It's like they pretty much announced like a good chunk of their games that we're gonna be playing this generation at before the console
Yep.
came out. Like they had that June event in 2020 revealing like they announced like Fable, um, fuck, I just blanked on like 6 other games I was gonna say. But they announced all these games are like, but they're like CG or just like or what's the fucking zombie game? The third State of Decay 3, shit like that. Which
Yep. State of
we've seen
Decay
nothing from
3.
these. Perfect Dark was announced at Game Awards 2020, and that game is basically
Mm-hmm.
the game's
We
like
haven't
we just
seen
talked about.
it.
There's a big news story that like of like that studio they built for them is like they've been sitting around for years with like nothing to do because it's just poorly ran. Crystal Dynamics is Crystal Dynamics is working on it. Yeah, I think it's Crystal Dynamics is co-working on that. Um, so it's like that game is like sounds like it's still in early development 3 years later, uh, and
Hmm.
it's like, dude, I don't really want like as much as I'd love to see like no Gears. Like I know Gear 6 is happening, but it's like it'd be nice to like know what's happening, sure. But it's like, do I want a CGI trailer? Like, yeah, I initially would I get excited
No.
for it as a Gears fan? Yeah, of course I would. But like, that's your thing you're gonna show. It's like cool, a game that's a CGI trailer for a game that's years away, or like if maybe they should like do I want another CGI trailer for like Indiana Jones? Um, like if they had some like great gameplay and like hey that game's coming out earlier than you think, like later like end of like fall 2024, sure maybe. But yeah, I'm with you. Like we're like the things I want to see is like it's even if it's just shit we've already like yeah it's Hellblade 2. Like I think that's like the favorite of like what like the betting favorite of what people
Yes.
probably would think they're gonna see. Um, yeah, like I like at this point it's like we need gameplay because like what they revealed it at Game Awards in 2020 when they showed off the Xbox Series 2019 when they revealed the Xbox Series X at the same time 2020 2021 one of those two they showed off like that big long gameplay thing where like there's that giant dude crawling and like stuff like that and that's all we've seen in this game and then we had in June we had
Mm.
the the trailer but it was like no gameplay like this if we see it I want to
Right.
see like what are we doing like how like because I don't know how you're gonna make that same game again because like that game was the way that game was designed was so based off of that story. Obviously, you can still follow the whole with Senua and like her psychosis and everything like that, and her mental illnesses. Like you can still follow that general pattern, but that game is gonna be so wildly different now. I feel like so. It's like, what is this game? Obviously, and just what we saw from 2 years ago. Again, that's so different than anything else we saw in the first game. So, as a huge fan of that game, I hope to see that. And yeah, on trailer, I feel like, and hopefully, I say it's like hopefully it's soon, and not sense of like as a fan, hopefully it's soon. Like I'd be mad if it's not, but like if you're gonna show them that's a big thing you have, like hopefully it's soon for like gamers out there and like the people have been waiting. It's like if you come out and say it's coming out in July, like cool, we got a date, but it's like that's 7 months away. I don't know, like
Yeah.
hopefully it's like if you have something like make sure it's good content and also make sure it's something that is if you have something like, even if it's like a Hi-Fi Rush style thing, and like, hey, it's coming out in the first quarter. I feel like if it's not something that's like, here's some prominent gameplay of something that's coming soon, then I don't know. I feel like you're gonna have more frustration because that's just, and yeah, maybe there's like a little bit of entitlement there as a gamers, but it's like, man, like you've been teasing us and you've been like giving us very little for so many years now. It's like we're finally starting to get the ball rolling. Look at 2024, man. It's looking pretty good. But we said the same thing last year, and then it ended up being one of the worst years they ever had because
Yes, we
everything got
did.
delayed. And so we're going this year. Like, man, there's possibly a lot of good shit coming next year, man. And this year was pretty good. Like we had fucking Starfield, we had Forza, there was one other, we had Hi-Fi
Hmm.
Rush, there was one other game in there I'm forgetting, not Redfall, in there. That, man, you look at like potentially be a good year next year, and it's like let's get that ball rolling soon. And maybe I think it'd be great if they did like another developer direct next year, like early next year as well. If that'd be cool, like put some more spotlights on some of the stuff because there's still a lot of stuff. Like I said, they have a lot of stuff announced, and we haven't seen a lot of any of that, most of that shit. So it'd be nice to see some stuff and kind of like set the idea like what to expect for like the first half of the year, and maybe give us an idea what we're gonna see for the rest of the year. And then you get the June one, and that's when you could show the big shit. But like I liked that developer direct where like it was nothing major for the most part. Like but it was like here's some updates and shit got in here. Here's Hi-Fi Rush, one of the greatest games of all time. Gables, isn't that right?
Well, it definitely is a great
You piece
game,
of
that's for
shit.
sure.
I hate you so goddamn much. Why don't you go make your Xbox profile private too, you asshole? I'm not over it. I'm sorry, I lied. Anyways, I was thinking about for the Xbox 360 thing. I think you're right. If like that's the backwards combat thing, like obviously that's just speculation, but I think it'd be cool if they did because they did. They did say they're done with it, but that's obviously before they bought Activision Blizzard. And we talked about this before though. Like the problem is like a lot of like the non Call of Duty games from like that era are like licensed stuff. Like even like the Guitar
Yeah.
Hero. Is it Guitar Hero or Rockstar? There's Guitar Hero, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
believe Guitar
No, I'm
Hero is
totally. So
theirs.
that's like all licensed music. That's not something you can just recreate. Yeah, like the Transformer stuff was like something like
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would want. Um, yeah, I think this problem is like how much is there, or like maybe they give us like, hey, like the Call of Duty games are coming out, they're out now. Like the 360 era Call of Duty games are out now. Like fuck yeah, Gables, we're playing Black Ops. Let's go. But oh
Oh
man,
my God.
that'd be exciting. Um, the other thing I was thinking though, Gables, a couple of years ago,
What?
going into summer E3 2021, when the last year of E3, there was that like Jez and a couple other people were reporting on the Gears of War collection of Gears 1, 2, and 3,
Oh, hey.
also on 360. Maybe we get the remaster, whatever you want to call it, collection. Maybe we get that reveal. That'd be kind of cool. Like I don't think that's like a grand slam home run type of thing, but like be nice.
That's something I didn't even consider about because that's something that really fell off the radar once that E3 came and went from
Yeah,
2021. But yeah, I can't dismiss that that could potentially be a possibility. That whole Gears of War sort of remastered kind of collection esque type of bundle that they could do, especially for Series X and Series S and stuff, 4K, 60 frames, maybe upwards to 120 at give and take. But yeah, I'd be all game for that. I mean, I love playing the original Gears.
yeah. Oh man, Gears 3 again. Ooh, doggy. I'd love to play that. And, like I'm not. I don't think it's gonna be like Unreal Engine 5 or anything like that. But like if it's just like you said, 4K, 60 frames, 120 frames, fuck yeah, I'm all in for that. Um, but yeah, and then I think there'll be some game like they've always at the least had Game Pass news at that event. Like usually like third party games coming to Game Pass. I think we'll expect that too. Next up here though, Gables, Sega. Oh, one more thing. Baldur's Gate 3 is getting an. We do know the Baldur's Gate 3 will be announcing the Xbox release date for them. So there's been some people. Obviously, there's
Okay.
people maybe wild rumors coming to the game. Like maybe this comes to Game Pass day one. That'd be fucking awesome and incredible if they do it. I think that's
Yeah.
highly unlikely that'll happen though. But we do know the release date it will be revealed at the Game Awards. And it's sometime this month.
Dude, I will say that before we go on to the next little thing and stuff, I wouldn't that be interesting if they made that announcement that it's going to be available on Game Pass after, like, say after like the whole Game Awards presentation, especially if that game ends up winning Game of the
Yeah, it's
Year.
like, hey, we got the game of the year on Game Pass day one.
That's something that not very many people are going
No,
to tout, especially with
yeah, I
Sony
mean,
and
obviously
Nintendo.
they've already had it for since like September, but like, fuck, man, like, I mean,
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah,
hey, you buy our console right before the holidays too. The game of the year is on our hardware. You just got to get Game Pass. That's gonna sell some fucking units. So, that's a great point, Gables.
absolutely.
It's a really great point. Um, next up here though, Gables. So Sega has been teasing that they'll have something there. What the fuck are they doing?
That's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint, you know. I mean, they generally do a bunch of things with their classic series, obviously, over and over again. You know, like the
Ah,
Sonics.
can't say it.
Even with that, but in regards to anything else, you know, there have been sort of some teases, some little graphics that have been coming through, and there was actually one image. There's actually one image with a couple different words in a certain font that kind of reminded me of like a specific game that could potentially be announced, and it's also along the lines of what we've heard about rumors of a potential game getting a remake. But could this be where Sega goes through and announces a Skies of Arcadia remaster?
Oh, my nipples just got hard. Oh, don't do it to me. I didn't think of the Gables. I never even thought of that. And now that's all I think about. If it's not that, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be pissed off at you.
Well, that's the thing, man. I mean, it's definitely possible because that was one of a couple different games that could have been
It's
in
been
that
rumored.
foray. Another one could be
Yeah.
Fantasy Star, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
something along the
Remember
lines of
Fantasy
that.
Star 2 was supposed to come to Game Pass like 3 years ago?
Yep,
What's
and it
going on
never
with that?
did.
What if that's something they got there?
The Fantasy Star 2, stuff like that. I mean, Fantasy Star has definitely been a series that's been predominantly kind of like a niche inside the West, but it's been incredibly huge in Japan. But here's the thing, man. What I'm thinking is if they go through and make an announcement, say Fantasy Star related, maybe it's a brand new game that's going to be released simultaneously between both, and it's going to possibly be sometime in the next year or two.
Gables, um, maybe I just made this up in my head.
What?
Is a game called
What?
Space Channel 5? Was
Yes,
that
there is a
Sega?
game called Space Channel 5.
I
Yes, that was
believe I
Sega.
maybe I just made this up in my head, but
It was a
I
Dreamcast game.
believe there was rumors of something going on there.
That could also be possible too, because going through with certain go through certain things, you know. I mean, that would also be in the realm of possibility. Space Channel 5 coming back in some sort of like way, if either be like a digital release through the major platforms, or maybe a remaster, or maybe a combination of the first and the second. Though at the same point, that kind of would kind of tie things legally because it has Michael Jackson inside of one of the games. I know that you could go through and play, but Space Channel 5, I can't dismiss that. I mean, really, it could be one of those three games. It could be Skies of Arcadia, it could be Fantasy Star, it could be Space Channel 5. I mean, here's the thing. Sega has already gone through like major announcements and stuff. I know there's another new like game inside of that Bluebird Blurs franchise and stuff that's going to be coming through like probably in the next year or something
Sadly,
like
yeah.
that. But what kind of like it's kind of weird though. It's had that little rumor thing had something to do with energies. And when I think about it, it's like the only thing I can really tie in is either Fantasy Star or maybe even like maybe like Space Channel
Yeah.
5, you know, because all that other stuff is like kind of crazy along the lines and stuff. But at the same point, commenting on rumors and speculations like that, I mean, it could be something
Yeah, it'll be a
completely out of
brand new
left field.
IP.
It could be some sort of, it could be a brand
Yeah.
new IP. It could be some sort of mobile
Yeah.
gotcha
I
game
feel
or
like though
something
if they're
like
gonna do
that. It
something,
could be a
yeah,
live
but it's Sega. I
service.
guess you can't. It'll be a Blue Blur mobile game or something stupid like that. Um, the only thing I was thinking about too is there was that rumors a few years back about the super games that Sega was making. One of them we did find out eventually was
Absolutely, yeah.
Hyenas, which obviously got canceled earlier, just a couple months ago.
Yep.
The other game that was rumored to be a part of this, Crazy Taxi.
Oh my gosh. Could you just imagine if that was
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
case,
yeah.
If it's like something freaking Crazy Taxi. That game had that franchise had three
Why?
games. Like three games in the initial things. Two on the Dreamcast, one on the Xbox. But man, if it's Crazy Taxi, I mean, that'd be kind of cool too. I mean, whenever I think of like the original Crazy Taxi, I think of The
Mm-hmm.
Offspring because of the intro, the whole like song and stuff from that beginning game and stuff, the licensed music and stuff through those Crazy Taxi games are some of the most notable and stuff. So if it's like say a brand new Crazy Taxi, that'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool too.
So yeah, that's kind of that's all I got there. Some other stuff here though that um that's been kind of rumored and speculated here, or just like I said, speculation obviously, and people just bringing it up. Um, Skull and Bones apparently, according to Insider Gaming, who is a pretty prominent source of information, did say that it sounds like Skull and Bones Gables will be releasing on February 16th. Um, there will be a $100 edition
Hmm.
you can buy, as is tradition with Ubisoft. They'll get you
Yep.
3-day early access, so you can get it on February 14th. Imagine spending your Valentine's Day playing Skull and Bones. Oh boy. If let me just say
Oh.
something. If your significant other says, "Hey, I want Skull and Bones," and not just Skull and Bones, but I want the definitive edition so I could play it on Valentine's Day, call in turn and get all that relationship ASAP. But Gables, that sounds like that might be the date. Obviously, this game has been externally delayed 6 times already, internally delayed nearly a
Mm,
dozen times. So
yep.
how confident? What do you think the chances are? A would be there, and B that's the date.
Whether the game's gonna be
Get
there at
yeah.
the award show.
Give
Oh
me a
my god.
percentage.
Percentage wise, oh god, they gotta release that game
Gables, we were at the
sometime and
exact
stuff
same
because of
point
legal
2 years ago.
ramifications.
We were at this point 3 years
I know
ago.
we are. I
We've been
know
this
we
for
are,
six
dude.
years.
This is the hardest part. I'd give this like a 10% chance is gonna be
All
at
right,
this
what do you
damn
think for that
award
date?
show. I think the date's
Okay.
bullshit.
Gables, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think I'm gonna give it a 52% chance it'll be there. I'm gonna say there's a
Okay.
100% chance they're gonna say it's gonna come out that date, but I'm gonna say there's a 40% chance it actually hits that date. That's I did some Steiner math for you there on that one. Uh,
So you got two and a
yeah.
half and two
See, a
thirds or
normal
something
video
like
game, there would
that
be an
chance.
88% chance of coming out that day, but because we're talking about a genetic freak here in Skull and Bones, you got a 33.13% chance of actually being there. No. So anyway, that's a very, very small percentage of people who actually get that reference. But yeah, anyways, so yeah,
Oh,
that's been out there. That should be apparently be announced in the next couple weeks, but people just kind of put two and two together that it'll be at the Game Awards. This one not really rumored, but just it's Kojima and Jeff Keighley. Gables, I would have put before finding out you put your PSN profile on private, I would have said that you and I are a lot like Jeff Keighley and Kojima. But now I feel like almost maybe we're like more like Kojima and Konami. But yeah, I know we
okay.
got to work on some shit here, Gables. But Death Stranding 2. Do you think we'll see Death Stranding 2 here again?
Yeah, I think it's a 50% chance that we're going to be seeing that at the show. I mean, with close ties with Keeley has with Kojima, seeing something Death Stranding related is definitely, I feel like, is going to be in the cards. And just like the reveal trailer for it, it's not going to make any type of sense. So we're going to be left like, okay, this is kind of amazing, but at the same time, what the
Oh,
hell's
he's
going
so good
on?
at it, right? Um, just keep giving it to me, Daddy. Anyways, Gables, I do think that Kojima will be there. I do think he'll
Mhm.
show something there, but I don't think it will be Death Stranding 2.
Really? You don't think it's
There
going to be Death
are
Stranding
apparently three
too?
games he's working. We got the Death Stranding game, we got the Xbox game, and there's that horror game. Remember we saw the dude recording it off his screen, but then we see the reflection off the screen of him and his shirtless.
Yes.
Oddly enough,
Yes.
it was very unflattering and very creepy. But
Huh.
anyways, I think we see that horror game.
Hmm. That's crazy to think that it could be that horror game that we saw footage of all that while ago. I mean, I can't dismiss it really, but if we're looking at, say, Kojima trying to show the different game or something like that, I would probably lean towards like the Death Stranding 2 type of S and stuff. I don't think the Xbox project even gets any type
That
of
they're gonna
screen
say
time,
unless that's
but
like the Xbox thing they have is the Kojima thing.
yeah,
I could see that, I guess, but
yeah,
um, because I feel like they're gonna want to reveal. That's gonna be like I think that's gonna be something they want to show off on their own. So
right,
yeah,
right,
so but I think he's gonna be there. But
right. But
I don't know. Kojima puts out fucking beautiful trailers. And video games, quite frankly, at like a pretty rapid cadence. But it's been
well,
a couple
that, and
years.
we've also seen a tidbit of what he can do with a horror
Yeah.
style game. I mean, let's look at PT for instance.
Yeah.
That trailer, that
Mm.
demo, that whole entire demo and stuff messed up with a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. It's like one of the best games on last generation. It was just a demo.
That that was just a demo
Yeah.
and never
What could have
released.
been? Yeah. Next up here, Gables. I got really frustrated with our Google Doc here because I kept typing in Elden and I
Uh-huh.
forgot I changed it. So whenever you type in Elden into our Google Doc, it changes to poop. And I was like, why does it keep saying poop? I did this to myself like last year. Totally forgot about it. So poop ring, shadow of the Erd tree. So apparently there is a leaker um, out there that has pretty decent success as far as putting out information. Said that it will be
Yeah.
coming out February 5th of next year. But the director of the
Okay.
game just said that it's a ways off. Obviously, we know sometimes they fuck with us here, but we also know people on the internet definitely like to fuck with people. So, what do
Yep.
you think the chances are of seeing actual Elden Ring there? We do know that FromSoft has a pretty good relationship with Jeff Keighley. They've been at pretty much almost every. They've shown something on nearly every single. Almost every single year we've gotten something from FromSoft at a Keighley event. And then also, what do you think the odds of that hitting that date of February 5th?
Hmm. It's a strong chance we would see DLC for Elden Ring. Whether or not it's going to come to fruition is another thing to see it in of itself. I'm of the mind that even though if it's like a high chance of being there, like say like a 50 or 60% chance, I know I'm personally not going to believe it up until I actually see it, because I know that From Software has close ties with Keeley. I know they just put out like Armored Core 6, The Fires of Rubicon, stuff like that, and that game has been in the forefront and stuff in terms of sales and stuff for this year. But I'm not sure if it would actually be like a date like so soon, like February 5th. I mean, if they've been working on this like alongside of like Armor Core 6 and stuff, it's probably going to take a little bit longer just to iron
Who
out
would have thought
stuff.
they would have put Armor Core 6 though just over a year after they put out Elden Ring though?
But at the same time, they were kind of like in development in terms of those games
Could say you can make the same
at the
argument though
same
for this
point.
deal. Like, they could have this DLC already in production while making the original game, and then they broke it off into its own thing.
That's
So,
a good point
I mean,
too.
I don't know. You can make arguments for we're all obviously speculating here, um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I think they will have a presence there. This is obviously the most logical candidate is because this is the thing we know about. And usually we know about FromSoft stuff well before they announce FromSoft. Like we knew about their Armor Core 6 stuff years before they announce it.
Yes.
Um, as far as that date though, yeah, I don't. I think it's very slim. That it'd be great for fans out there that love Poop Ring, to get that though. I hope for your sake you get that. Um, next up here, Gables. Apparently, um, Jeff Grubb mentioned that there is something video game related with Jurassic Park.
Okay.
He won't give you more details than that, but he says that it sounds like it could be at the Game Awards, and he won't say who's making
Oh.
it, who's involved, but he has mentioned that if it is true, he said that there's something he knows for a fact something Jurassic Park is happening video game wise. Can't confirm it'll be at Game Awards, but he says that the who's heard is working on it sounds amazing. Uh, so no
Okay.
idea what the fuck that means, or anything like that. But
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, if we see maybe I don't know. I'm not trying. I don't want to like put odds on that, but kind of cool to see like maybe some cool shit done with the Jurassic Park IP in the gaming world. I'm just curious what it would be like. I don't know. I don't think it's like
Huh.
I don't foresee like a shooter game. We already got Exo Primal. What if?
It's got to be some sort of action
Yeah,
adventure, dude.
like yeah, like we've already got like survival sims out there. We've already got the Telltale game. Um,
We've already got like the whole crazy isometric sort of like style of like
yeah,
Jurassic Park games,
yeah,
the
you
weird ass
build your own
stuff that
park
was
and
from
stuff.
back
Yeah.
then.
So
We've also got a point and click
yeah,
adventure too on the
that's
Sega
true. Yeah. So
CD.
I feel like we've got the Super Nintendo games as well on top of it. What if they put out the Super Nintendo games again? That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't even know. Like, I don't know. It's like they always say the best part about like video games is like giving you things you want, but in a way you didn't expect.
Uh,
I just don't know what I'd want from a Jurassic Park IP, but I,
well, let's take a good guess. Let's try to take a guess here. Let's say if Jeff Keighley is like on the ball with this and stuff, and like say there's a Jurassic Park game potentially that could be announced at this Game Awards. What would be the styling of this game, and what developer would be
it
behind
is
this?
a snow runner game where you are transporting the dinosaurs to the park.
Okay, well, who would be
The
making
people that
this?
make snow runner, obviously. Hopefully before Embracer closes them.
I actually kind of feel like this would be like a third
That
person
sounds awful.
shooter, and I kind of feel like that it could be potentially made by probably a big third party developer or something like
I don't.
that.
If Jeff Grubb says he's excited for it though, if this is the partnership he's hearing, I don't think that's something he would be super excited for. Honestly, like I don't. I when I think,
Hmm.
just trying to. I'm trying to think from his point of view, which is scary. To try to get into his mind.
Hmm.
Like I don't think it's gonna be a map game. So that's why I'm thinking. I'm thinking Snow
Huh.
Runner, Jurassic Park game.
Huh. Huh. Or else it could be like some sort of like. I still think it's going to be a shooter in some form,
I just.
and I'm
I don't.
still
I
thinking
don't
that it's
think.
going to be like some sort of company
I
like
don't. Well, we already
Capcom.
got Exo Primal though, unless it's like an Exo Primal tie-in. So, um, but that
I
doesn't
think it
sound
could
great.
be
I don't. That
potentially a
doesn't sound.
Jurassic
Yeah,
Park
maybe, but
tie-in.
I don't even think. But does Jurassic Park want a game though, where you're going around shooting and killing a bunch of dinosaurs? Like that's not Jurassic Park.
If it makes sense for them,
It's a.
possibly,
It's a.
but
It's a. It's
still.
a. It's a family show. It's a family movie. I don't think they want like a video game where you're going around murdering a bunch of fucking dinosaurs, especially innocent ones. They're so cute, most of them. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a shooter. I think it's gonna be something different. I don't know what it would be. So I'm gonna stick with Snow Runner game. Um,
Unless it becomes like a JRPG.
Square Enix is making an HD 2D game, Jurassic Park game. Gables, you figured the fuck out. There you go. What's
It'd be just the entire theme of like the original Jurassic Park. It's in some sort of like 2.5D like
Gables?
freaking RPG. That'd be pretty
Gables,
fucking amazing, dude.
what's the fucking Switch game that was brought to America that was remade last year? But
Live Alive?
Live Alive, but in the style you play as 8 different dinosaurs with 8 different stories. You gotta figure. That's what it is.
So let's play through the Tyrannosaurus'
I'm in.
perspective, and it's like he's just chasing a damn car, just trying to get all this other stuff while
Yeah,
people are just.
you gotta play
Oh
from like each different
god,
like you got like the little tiny dinosaurs that like you got like the herbivore dinosaurs and stuff like that that you got the
you got to
yeah you
build a
got like
Reaver.
the T-Rex where you can just like destroy everything and yeah you gotta play all these different you got 8 different ways you gotta play through this scenarios. I'm in with branching paths. I'm all in. That'd be
Oh
great.
man.
Um, Next up here, Gables, something we do know is happening, unfortunately, for Ubisoft is Beyond Good and Evil, the 20th anniversary edition, I guess is what you maybe want to call it. So they actually, on Ubisoft
Yeah.
Plus, actually published a early build of this. Um, and they quickly took it down, but there's screenshots, there's some videos out there, but don't post videos
Yeah. Too
if you
little,
don't
too
post
late.
videos out there because places are getting copyright strikes on YouTube, so don't do that. But we do know what's happening. I think the 20th anniversary is like early next year, so some people are just putting two and two together again that maybe this Beyond Good and Evil gets revealed at this event. So, but we know for a fact it's happening. I haven't seen any videos or screenshots or
Right.
anything out there. I'm not a Beyond Good and Evil guy. I really don't care. But yeah, I don't know. We know it's happening, and man, maybe it's here.
Well, because Ubisoft has went to the liberty of sort of spoiling this themselves. I mean, yeah, you know what? That's cool though. 20th anniversary of Beyond Good and Evil and stuff. That's going to be remastered and stuff. Certain aspects of it. Definitely going to be excited to go forth and just buy and just try to play that. It's hard to believe though that game has been already out for like 20 years and stuff, and still they haven't thought about anything in terms of like conceptualizing or even getting things bogged down with a
Yeah,
sequel.
Gables, do you think it'll be 20 years between Metro Prime 3 and 4?
No. Oh, dude, no, no. If it's going to be anything, it's probably going to be like a launch game for the next Nintendo
Okay,
system at this
okay.
point. Probably going to be
I'm
late
saying
2024.
2025. Okay, all right, I'm just curious on that one. Um, yeah, some other stuff that we've heard though is that there will be apparently there's gonna be a lot of new IPs at this event and a lot of third party stuff there as well, which maybe not,
Hmm.
but apparently that people are pretty excited about some of the stuff out there. But it's obviously, if you're not a fan of those IP, like well, these are all new IPs, I guess. So, just kind of curious case of like like are we getting gameplay here? Like because that's been some of the complaints in the past is like,
Hmm.
and Jeff Keighley's talked about like, um, try to work around like there's been a lot of big games announced, but they're like or like games that eventually came out and they're awesome, but they're like CG trailers of like these
Yeah,
new IPs. It's like, well, I don't know what the fuck that is. So it's like he's talking about trying to get better about getting games with actual gameplay. Balance. It's a balancing act. You're gonna always have the CG trailers and stuff like that. But I am curious. I'm pretty excited with this one. Like I feel like I never go in with crazy expectations as far as like I'm not expecting the world. Most of these games that we talk about, like I'm not super up for like like the one things like that seem realistic is like it'll be great to have a Hellblade 2 uh trailer with with a fairly soon release date and stuff like that's like the main thing I'm like really like hoping
yeah.
for that seems realistic and the rest is like hey whatever comes like I'd hope that like, maybe we can get something great from PlayStation. It'd be cool if like Nintendo came back and did something with Jeff because they haven't done anything since Reggie retired. um
That's true. That's really crazy to think about. The Nintendo really
but
hasn't
the last thing they did was
done
the last thing they did
anything.
was the Sephiroth Smash reveal which was 2020. That was the
Yeah,
year
that was
Reggie
2020.
retired.
Yeah, that was when Reggie was.
So
Yeah, Reggie was still there and stuff until like 2020 and stuff. But that would be cool seeing something Nintendo related that's not just an
yeah,
advertisement
usually I
for
just do
Switch.
commercials for them. So it'd be great if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
did something there. But Gables, I want to. What is something that like pie in the sky, like, or maybe like something that's fairly realistic that can happen that you would actually like that would make you like jump out of your seat and say yippee ki motherfuckers?
Wow, dude, that's kind
Because
of hard
I
to
got I
think
got
about at
one.
this moment. You've got one. I could think of possibly
Okay.
two, and one of them has been a game that we have been hearing a bunch about over the past couple of years. It's been rumored to be like going through and like maybe different types of shows or some on PlayStation, Nintendo, on Xbox, and stuff like that. Having something in terms of Hollow
You
Knight
said the
Silk
words.
Song, having anything in regards to Hollow Knight Silk Song from Team Cherry in terms of any type of showcase there at that award show, I
Yeah.
lose my shit because that's something. This has been a game that's been hard in development and stuff for quite a long while now. They've had different types of issues and stuff, but at the same point, they've been working their asses off to put out a good quality
Mm.
game with this. And so, seeing that at the Game Awards show, and then seeing if there's going to be a legitimate release date
Shadow
for this,
drop Game Pass now.
that is a moment, Tyler, that if something like that were to happen, a shadow drop did occur on all the major platforms, especially Game Pass that same night, people would be turning
Yeah.
off the
It,
award show and
never
going
mind.
at it
Shadow
now.
Shadow Drop Game Pass out 2 hours from now.
Shortly
Yeah.
after the conclusion of
Yes.
this award show.
Yeah.
Could you just see just random like just people on Twitter or something like that? Not just people on Twitter, but all the gamers are just watching
Yeah,
this like,
the
oh.
stream would crash. Yeah,
The stream would crash. All the major platforms would, their online servers or something would just be like just stagnant. Oh, oh my God! There's a denial of
yeah,
service here. What's
yeah.
going
Everybody
on?
would lose their goddamn mind. Uh,
But the second that I would possibly like lose my mind about is if in the realms of Nintendo they say anything in terms of their next system.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that was gonna happen. I think they're gonna wait till we do the Christmas because they want people to buy their console and buy then
That's
like
true. That's
you know.
absolutely true.
The one I was thinking, Gables. I talk about all the time here. It's been seven goddamn. It's
Mhm.
been over 7 years. For 7 fucking
Yeah.
years. Since the studio put out a goddamn game. Since we've seen anything from the studio. Matter of fact, we've
Yeah.
seen two different people, groups of people, break off from the studio, create new studios, and put out video games before they announced their next video game. I'm talking about Playdead. Playdead
Mhm.
came out in June
Yes.
2016. Since then, two new studios of former Playdead developers broke off from them, made their own games in Somerville and Cocoon. Both
Yep.
Somerville came out last year. It was fine. It's Cocoon, fucking amazing. Both on Game Pass. Um, since Inside came out over 7 years ago, 7.5 years ago, that came out.
Yeah.
I want the next Playdead game, Gables.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a major thing if Playdead actually announces their next
Hmm?
game, and on top of that, the game is something that completely blows people away. I mean, that would be definitely one of the best moments of the Game
Yeah.
Awards right there.
So that's kind of my like maybe not realistic pie in the sky, hopeful kind of thing there. But let's move on here, Gables. Kind of the next big thing going on, just a few days here. GTA 6 is getting its trailer. It is 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday. Uh, no real other details than that. But Gables, what are you expecting out of this? Like, are you expecting like a big long like? You just expect it said trailer one, so I'm not thinking it's gonna be a breakdown of like here's a 15-minute thing here. Imagine it's gonna be a couple minutes
Mm.
long here. But what are you expecting? Gameplay? You expecting storyline stuff? You expecting CG? What do you think we should be expecting out of this event?
I expect it to be like a grandiose type of thing. I think that it's going to be a few minutes long, right? It's probably going to be like 3 minutes long. It's going to have the opening intro. You have a couple blurbs of the characters, the main characters or some inside the game. Then you're going to see a glimpse of the abundantness of what this game has to present for itself. Where for any type of open world games, especially with GTA, they always it seems like ever since like GTA 3 there's been like some form of a benchmark in terms of open world games since that. And so now we're at the point with open world games to where there's so you can put so much detail, you can put so much emphasis upon certain core aspects of it that make it different than some of the other stuff. I expect inside this trailer not only are we going to get like a good like just introduction in terms of what this game has to present, but we're going to be seeing all possibly just hints of the possible stuff we can do
Yeah,
inside this game, you know, any like major detail
yeah.
type of stuff.
No,
Oh
I'm with you.
boy.
Like we always said, like every single one's come out and done something that's totally blown up like what we know in gaming. And even if it's just building upon what
Yes.
they've already done, like just like they added more like the social elements in four, or they in GTA 5
Yep.
like multiple characters and like so many like you could just do pretty
Oh
much
yeah.
anything in that game. Jump around between characters whenever you want. This game we do know for a fact there are two characters. It's the kind of thing that sucks. Like I was talking about, we talked about a few weeks ago when they announced they're doing this trailer, is that we already know a lot of details because of the leaks that was out there and everything.
Right.
And well, I'm curious to see this like this couple and kind of like general story idea. I imagine we know what it's going to be. It's like they're two you know fugitives that are just doing jobs and not good jobs. Um, but I'm kind of curious of like what is that like does Rockstar still have stuff, and like I feel like they do. Obviously, like Red Dead Redemption 2 is definitely like it's divisive amongst fans, but A lot of people hate that game. A lot of people love that game. But like we know like that's so different than anything that's ever been done in gaming before. And like that's kind of the benchmark that is set for them, that they've set for themselves because they continue to hit those benchmarks and blow it away. It's like I said earlier, it's like doing things that we want but in an unexpected way, and that's what Rockstar does.
Right.
That's what they're known for. And yeah, you're right. Like I don't think we could like predict like how is this gonna like if this current day like with how they're gonna make this work with like how they're gonna implement like social media and everybody with cell phones and we've seen that like GTA 4 with like the cell phone, but what a cell phone was in 2008 to 2013 or 2013. Did I say we're in 2013? Jesus Christ, 2023, Gables. I wish it was 2013. I was still in my 20s then, and I was like 50 pounds lighter. But yeah, like I'm just so curious, like what is that? What is that now? Like how are they gonna implement that into this and like blow it away and take it, to 11? What are the kinds of crazy shit can we do in this game? Like, but as far as like I feel like I don't think I think we're gonna get some teases as far as what those things can be. I don't think there'll be any real gameplay. I think it's gonna be a lot of shots of Miami, and we're going to be introduced to the characters, a little bit of story tidbits and these character developments, but I don't think there's going to be any gameplay, and I think it's going to like, what's the song that's going to play under this? I'm thinking Will Smith's "Welcome to Miami."
Oh my lord! I don't think it's gonna be Will
Pitbull,
Smith though, but it's gonna be something
Pitbull,
synonymous.
Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide.
That could possibly be that, but it could also be something like Jay-Z
Well,
related as
that's New York
well in
though.
terms of
Jimmy Butler.
Miami.
He
Jimmy
plays for Miami,
Butler,
yeah.
really? But yeah, I do agree with you, man. It's got to be something like that ties into like the state of Florida or somewhere with Miami in general. So it could very well be like
Dwayne
say
Wade.
Pitbull. It could very well be that's
It's
basketball, dude.
Miami. He played in Miami.
I know.
He could be in the game. Fucking who was it?
He
Dr.
possibly
Dre was
could. I
in
mean, come
the
on.
GTA DLC 9 years after the game came out. It's possible.
That's true.
I'm thinking Dwayne Wade's gonna be in the game. Call my shot now. Call my shot now. But I don't know. I'm
Oh,
excited. It's an
but
event. This
man,
is like
yeah.
there are events in gaming that are in the gaming world. Like Summer Game Fest is for the most part a gaming event. This is just an event. This is a worldwide event.
Yes.
Which is why Mr. Worldwide Pitbull should be there. This breaks video games. It's like even my sister who only plays Warzone, and that's it. Barely knows anything else going on in the gaming world. Even she was like, she knows about this. Like she's a huge GTA fan, but she was talking to me about it and bringing it up to me, and like she's like aware of it. Like and like she isn't. She couldn't tell you what Last of Us is. She couldn't tell you what fucking Forza is. She couldn't tell you like anything outside of like Mario and then maybe like Halo exists. I don't know if she knows what Halo is, honestly.
Yeah.
So she's pumped for this. So yeah, I'm excited just because like I'm looking forward to just kind of what people think of it and kind of what we see out of it. So it's very rare that we always talk about like in the 90s and like we kind of lost like in the you know the last probably decade or so of like those gaming events like the holidays, like almost like when Call of Duty would come out, Halo would come out, like these big
Oh yeah.
tentpole releases would come out, and it was like almost like a gathering of people. You go to the midnight releases, and like obviously we've lost that in the internet age, and this kind of feels like a little comeback to that. So I'm excited for just for that uh, uniting of people like getting excited for this one big huge event. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, but moving on, Gables, to some other news this week. Destiny 2 Final Shape is coming out June 4th. It was delayed. Jason Schreier mentioned this a few weeks ago, about a month ago, that it had been internally delayed already from February to June. Now it's officially been announced as June 4th. So it sounds like everything that was coming out about it is that the game was like, it was coming along pretty well, but it was testing and it wasn't like, people were like, it said it was good, but not great. And this is like giving them an extra 3 months to potentially make it great. So I don't know, Gibbs, you're the Destiny guy. How you feel about this one?
Well, this is kind of like the same thing they did with the Witch Queen for a long while and stuff, where they had to
That was
delay
COVID though,
that in order to
wasn't it?
try
That
to
was that
make
was
it.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
COVID too, but at the same point, the fact remains is like with the delaying of that, it did potentially make the Witch Queen
Yeah.
better as a result. But this doesn't surprise me that they've delayed it all the way towards like June and stuff. I mean, with all the bad publicity they've gotten, plus a lot of the player feedback and stuff, on top of whatever they're trying to do currently with their whole seasons that they're going to be leading up towards this release in 6 months. It's like, yeah, man, it's kind of like all over the
Yeah,
place, as well as like for the Bungie's like Destiny 2 community stuff. I mean, you'll have your hardcore people that'll still do their dailies, they'll still do their raids, they'll still do this whatever and stuff. But I'm in the realm of people where it's like, I don't care anything right now in terms of Destiny 2. If when the final shape comes out and it's good, hey, maybe I'll pick it up and play it. But at the same point, man, I mean, there's nothing really that's tying me into playing this game long
yeah,
term right now, and it's depressing to a point. But at the same time, I'm glad that I hadn't been sucked into Destiny 2 like I've had in years past, because there are so many other good games that have released this year that I've had a chance to play and that I've enjoyed a hell of a lot of without having to even think about the whole rigmarole of, oh, why can't I go through and do these exact modes that I used to play and enjoy, or why can't I enjoy the content that I've had purchased a while ago, but now they're sunsetted or gone, or just dwelling upon like just tit for tat crap that would make me feel unhappy about it playing a live
yeah,
service game. But at the same point, playing a games where they're just single player oriented type of games, or even like have some multiplayer stuff and enjoying playing games like say Street Fighter 6. Yeah, that's definitely been a better thing. But yeah, at this moment, man, I mean, I can understand why that Bungie delayed the final shape, but at the same point, I'm like, eh,
yeah. Yeah, I
meh.
mean, we know this team could turn it around. We've seen them do it. We've seen it with Destiny. They turned it around with Taken King. They turned it around multiple times already with Destiny 2. When they had a couple good, really good expansions early in Destiny 2, and then there was for like a year, all I heard was dead game, and then Witch Queen came out, and really they just like that it was phenomenal. Everybody loved it, and I mean it was doing really good up until really the expansion we got this year, and uh,
Lightfall, which was like completely like a
yeah,
wet part and
yeah,
like a complete filler in regards to that in terms of the next
yeah,
DLC, because Bungie really touted Lightfall as like almost being like, oh, this is where the final thing is going to be going around here and this and that, and just end up being like a side story of like a cheap ass like superhero
yeah.
type of
So,
shit.
yeah, like I said, we've seen them. They've turned around multiple times, and they could do. Can they do it again? Sure, but it's like one of those things where it's like, uh, how many times can this team turn chicken shit into chicken salad? So, hopefully this isn't
Yeah,
one time too many. Because I mean, honestly, like just the vibes at Bungie or maybe the lows they've been. Because on top of like
yeah,
everything going on with the game itself, it's all the shit that's going on with inside of the studio with the layoffs and everything like that, and all
mm-hmm.
everything we're hearing from that. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully for the team and everybody involved, be great, and the fans as well that they could turn around and people are happy with it. So. Next up, though, another game about a fucking douchebag hedgehog. The new game that came out in October, Superstars, is below expectations. Well, A, maybe don't put a shit game out. B, maybe don't put a game out the same fucking week as Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder.
There are multiple different things that have prevented that from performing well. The number one factor is you put out a game that is arguably between two of the most anticipated games of
Mm,
the entire year: Spider Man 2, Super
mm,
Mario Bros. Wonder. The second thing is the price point,
mm.
$60, full on $60 for an experience that I've looked at and I've played through most of that game already through that span of like the short time I've had it and stuff. This game at its least is around three and a
Yeah,
half hours long, and at the same time it's really encouraged to play multiple times with different characters, which, hey, that's fine. I mean, the core experience of say Sonic Superstars and stuff, it's fine. It's definitely like that. Generally feel like the content itself is like the Super Mario Brothers, like oh god, the new Super Mario Brothers
it's so
style of
funny
Sonic.
that
That's what it
like
kind
by
of.
the time Nintendo figured out we need to move on from people are sick of this. Sonic's like Sega's like, what if we make a new Super Mario Brothers game, but in Sonic?
It definitely, dude, it definitely does feel like a new Super Mario Brothers style of game. Only this is Sonic the Hedgehog, but at the same point, even though this game is fine and stuff, it even though it is fine, it could have sold better if it had its own separate like week to
Month
itself.
to itself.
Maybe like in or
Like September.
exactly, like like September or even an
Or they
early
just threw it in the trash
December,
can.
or hell, they could have just delayed it they could have just delayed it to
Yeah.
January too. I mean, that could have been a thing they could have
Yeah.
done as well. But yeah, price point, tough competition from other things and stuff. Plus, since you released it so close to November, people were just going to go ahead and try to wait to buy it up like a
Yeah.
Black Friday anyway, and that's exactly what I did. I bought it for like $35 at Walmart, and that was enough of a justification
Eh,
to
was
buy
it?
that for
Was it?
me.
Gables? Was it?
Yeah,
Uh,
well, for me, because at least I enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog on like a decent level as opposed to some
do
other people.
do people
But
actually enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog?
there are definitely some people that do
that's
enjoy Sonic the
that's
Hedgehog.
too
Some
bad.
a little bit more extreme at certain points, but yeah, there definitely are plenty of people that do enjoy that
Pedophiles.
franchise.
Anyway, well, also putting out a four-player
Uh,
multiplayer game that's doesn't have online maybe is also a bad idea too in 2023.
yeah, that's definitely a horrible idea. That's taking a page out of
Yeah,
Nintendo's
right.
book, and
They
even
did the, they
Nintendo
did
this
like they
year,
did the thing that like Nintendo
they
did
did the
15
exact
years ago. Everybody was
opposite.
pissed off about. They just did it in 2023. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's so fucking funny. That's funny.
I have I have never even gave that a thought up until you just mentioned it and stuff. The online that's like there's no online multiplayer with that Sonic game. It's couch co-op, right? Nintendo is known to do that with their Mario games for years, up until Mario Wonder, to where now you can actually have online stuff. Your friends can help you out through
Yeah.
various
Super
courses. I
Mario
mean,
3D World had online multiplayer at least too. That was re-released 3 years
huh?
ago. Next up here, Dragon's Dogma 2 has release date officially on March 22nd. That was kind of leaked. We talked about last week. It was kind of leaked last week and then re-leaked again before they had a big event on Tuesday, I believe. I watched some of it, not
Mm-hmm.
all of it. It looks fucking awesome. And I bought Dragon's Dogma 1 for like $4 on PSN last year. It's on like
Yep.
majorly discounted right now as well. I think it's on like,
Oh yeah, $5
yeah.
on
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Switch
So
and
fuck yeah.
everything
So,
else.
that might be a game. I'm gonna give that a shot before this comes out. But looks pretty good. Um, also, Fallout, the Fallout TV show and the Halo season 2 TV show had trailers dropped today. Fallout starts April 12th on Amazon Prime Video. Halo season 2 starts on Paramount Plus February 8th. Gables and I also did a live react for both of those, which should be out now, if not soon, on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check those out, watch our live reactions and our discussion about those fully, go to our YouTube channel. There's a link if you listen to us on a podcast app. There's a link down in the descriptions below. And while you're there, give us a thumbs up too, and follow and all that, subscribe. So, but yeah, I mean, give it like we are looking at a prime age of possibly some pretty good video game content on the big screen. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what's the most
yeah.
amazing part about it.
It's like, man, like if 5 years ago, if we got what Twisted Metal was this year, if we got that 5 years ago, that would be fucking. I mean, that would be one of the biggest shows, like one of the best shows ever in gaming. And it's just like came out, and it was like a solid 7.5 out of 10. And it's just like, yeah, cool. And then that came out, and it's like, man, it's like 5 years ago we would have killed for something this good. And so it's getting pretty good. Things are looking pretty good on that end. And
That's
Gables,
true.
maybe the biggest gaming news of all
Uh,
time.
uh,
Snake is in Fortnite. He's coming to Fortnite, Gables. Did you
oh
not
my
know about
god.
this? How did you not? So
No,
before we started
no.
podcasting, I mentioned the Grand Theft Auto. We were talking about what's the news this week. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got the Grand Theft Auto trailer on Tuesday. Gables was like, what? He had no idea. Gables does a video game podcast every week. No idea that the GTA 6 trailer was happening on Tuesday. God damn it, Gables. Uh,
Well,
if you turn your
my
PSN
defense.
profile off of private, you would know these things. You son of a bitch. So Snake and Peter Griffin are coming to Fortnite. They had a big bang event going on right now and on Fortnite. Peter Griffin is there, but it's the muscular Peter Griffin from an episode from like season 2 of the Family Guy. He's like jacked. He looks hot
Okay.
as fuck. And also in the trailer they revealed they're teasing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my
Gables,
god,
people have been
dude.
asking me for a long time if I'm back in the Fortnite. And Gables, I'm thinking I'm
What?
back. I gotta get I gotta get my snake. I gotta get my snake, baby. I'm getting in there, but it sounds like he's like the level 100
Oh,
character in the battle pass. But goddamn it, I'll get there.
dude, dude. You want to know something that's really funny? I didn't even hear about any of those type of announcements. You want to know what type of Fortnite news I've been hearing, and especially when I turn on the PS5 and stuff, and I'm going through like various stuff on my way to the YouTube app. The fucking Eminem
That's
event
this.
that
That's what happened
happened
today. That's
inside
what the
that
whole
damn
thing is about.
thing.
Yeah, it's all led into that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like I've never even heard those type of things. All I can hear is
yeah, it was
Eminem,
awesome.
dude. I'm like,
You
what
missed
the
out, Gables. You
hell?
missed out. You gotta turn that PSN
Yeah.
profile on public, and you'll find out about the shit. It's amazing the things you'll learn in this world. Gables, let me tell you. Did you know Santa Claus? I'm not. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I almost said something bad. There might be people listening. Let's move on.
Oh,
But yeah, that's happening. It sounds like Snake will be like the level 100 character though in the battle pass, but I'll get there. It's like, but why are we doing this now, Gables? I got so many games I gotta be playing. I got so many TV shows I gotta be watching. I don't have time for, but it's the busiest month of the year for me.
and but all you can think about is snake flossing.
That's all I want, Gables. I want my snake doing the you can't see me. That's all I want. That's all I want. But yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm in. Cannot wait. Uh, but Gables, that's pretty much all we got for the news this week. Let's get into what we've been playing. Gables, you want to
All
go
right.
first? You want me to go first?
All right, I think I'll go first because I think I've played like the shortest amount compared to the two
I
of
might have
us.
you beat there, but go ahead.
Okay, okay. So, like I mentioned earlier and stuff, and just to finish up, yeah, I did play Sonic Superstars through the past week. Yes, I did play through most of it and stuff. The levels are fine, but like I was stating, it definitely feels like a new Super Mario Brothers esque type of game with Sonic. Only thing's different here is, yeah, there's like a four-player couch co-op thing. There ain't no way I was gonna try that mode. Don't have three other people, but levels are okay. They're formulaic in terms of like each individual type of style. Like there's like a sand like a couple of stages and stuff. There's one based upon water, one based upon like the Green Hill Zone and stuff like that. But at the same point, it's like you get the chance to use these different type of powers and stuff that you acquire throughout the journey, and it's only really necessary if you want to try to get 100% of like everything inside the levels, which are not exactly that difficult. But at the same point, I'm just more focused upon just going through the entire game, just trying to beat this game. So that way, if it's enjoyable, maybe I'll play through it again, sub with another character, which you have access to like three other characters: Knuckles, Tails, and Amy Rose. But yeah, I played that. I also had a chance to get not one but four additional games on PSN throughout that Black Friday sale. One of them was Crosscode. That
Oh
game
yeah, I
is a
played that on.
decent
It was on Game Pass last year. I
RPG.
played that.
Yeah, it was on Game Pass last year. I played a little bit of it. I did love it. I was waiting for a sale for this game. It
Oh
was
okay.
$5, so I got that on PSN. Second was a game I played on Game Pass as well, Cyber
Uh,
Shadow. I got that one for about 10.99. Now, the last two are two games I have played through before, also on Game Pass, but were severely discounted and actually had a couple of good deals here. Streets of Rage
oh,
4,
okay.
and I bought the bundle of
Shard Revenge.
TMNT with the Shell
Cool.
Shock
Cool.
DLC.
Cool.
I was playing a little bit of TMNT and stuff. God damn, that game still plays
Mm.
so freaking good. It still plays so freaking good, dude. I mean, the combat's fluid. It looks fantastic. The music is fantastic. This is the type of beat 'em up I want to play over and over again. Kind of like with say Turtles in Time for some people, or like even like with some of the older like Turtles games. I mean, Hyperstone Heist comes to mind with me as well because I have the Genesis version of Turtles in Time. It's just called Hyperstone Heist. Different settings, different types of characters, but anyway, play a little bit of that. But another thing I played this week was something that was initially touched upon like late last week during like a big old stream from the developers like Iron Galaxies and stuff along coincide Killer Instinct. They had their big old like I think it was like season 3 or something like that, big old update to Killer Instinct to where they did a whole bunch of different fixes to different characters and stuff, giving like incredible like certain buffs and stuff to characters like Jago, Orchid, and stuff, and like some bits of nerfs and stuff like the characters I said like a kill not like Fulgore or something like that or Kilgore or no Fulgore and stuff. But basically, there's a whole bunch of different changes that have occurred in terms of bouncing characters. There's a whole different type of character select screen and like different type of animation stuff like that. They've released a version. They've actually updated the version of it now to where it's 4K, it's 60 frames and stuff. You can download this thing on Game Pass right now. And the best part about it is if you've bought like Killer Instinct before, like say on Xbox One and stuff, and you have all the various like season packs or something like that, it automatically updates to the current definitive edition version and stuff. And let me just say this right now. I've had a chance to play a few hours of the game and test out couple of different characters and stuff. This feels fucking awesome. It feels much better playing certain characters, to say like with Jago or with Orchid, because they've had some bits of trouble, like say with movement speeds, with like say trying to get into certain combos. Let's see, one of the ones that I've had trouble playing with before when I first played that whole new Killer Instinct from way back in 2013, Sadira. Sadira was more like a character that would work when you could just do a whole bunch of jump attacks and stuff. But because her movement speed got increased by a significant amount, she's so quick on the ground that I can literally go and have like a sort of a ground game to where I can actually combo different certain things and actually set the traps of the character. You know, like the character sets traps and stuff for the enemies to go for the run into, or you can knock them into and stuff. But there's also additional modes that have been added in too. Granted, this feels like an entirely new game, almost like an entirely new game in what they've done with updates, what Iron Galaxy's done to help to get things all like streamlined stuff. The good parts that I've noticed so far, other than like character buffs and stuff, there's a mode that you can train like a specific characters to try to like these specific type of like shadow like brains or something like that, to where you take a character, you fight off like three different type of trials, right? And you basically upload the save data information onto like their servers, and people can download your character and stuff and just fight against it and do this all of those stuff. It's a cool concept. So basically, you can like take some of the best players in the world or something. You can try to fight against them and see if you can actually stand a chance. But it'll show like statistics, like say how much they use offense, how much they use combos, how much they use defensive stuff. It is definitely a cool concept, but I'll tell you one thing that I haven't liked about it is there are loot boxes in this. There is currency inside of this game now. I'm not too sure if they were prevalent, like say over 10 years ago,
Yeah,
but
because it was free to play back then too.
yeah, it was free to play back then as well. But what I'm seeing inside of this mode and stuff, there's these different type of story modes, right? But there's one that's like totally like a sort of like pay all sorts of different currency in order to try to up like recover health of your character or do this or do that or have these consumable things. It's basic like say loot box stuff for that stuff. But what I can say, another positive and stuff with the actual story mode of the game itself, you can take like one character, go through the set like arcade stages and stuff. You go like maybe 7 at max so far. I've only played through the beginner portion of it, but there are 3 separate endings for each character, which probably is like having to do with the difficulty of what you challenge them on each character. I'll have to test that later and stuff. But in the end, I've loved a lot of the improvements that Iron Galaxy has done in the game. The game plays fantastic. There's definitely a lot more to keep coming back to and wanting to enjoy playing it. But I feel like this is going to be a good distraction between now and Tekken 8. Just play that a little bit off and on, through Game Pass. But other than that, though, that's it for me. So how about
Um,
you?
not too much, Gables. Like I said, it's been a busy time of year now. Um, played a little bit more of Assassin's Creed Mirage. Played about 2 hours of that. Um, I think Gables. I always talk about every like January. I always hit like that gamer funk where I'm just like, man, I just nothing's really clicking for me. Like it's just like usually I think it's just getting through that year, and it's like, man, like we do game of
Yeah.
the year, and it seems like after game of the year, it's like for the most part, like just hit like a wall where it's like nothing's clicking for me. I don't even like. I'm
Right.
just kind of playing games to play games at this point. And I feel like I've hit that wall here, Gables, where I'm just like, man, and it's like I think more so than anything, it's like I guess to like for analogy here, it's like playing through a game is like climbing a mountain. And I beat 26 games this
Mm.
year. I played probably close to 40. Um, and it's like, man, I just don't want to climb that mountain again right now. And it's like, even like
I see what
Assassin's
you
Creed
mean.
Mirage, like, yeah, it's like, oh, it's only like 15 hours long. It's like perfect. This is the game I've been asking for Assassin's Creed forever. It's like, man, I played so many big games this year. You know, like there's been some good indie games, smaller games in there, but man, it's only 15 hours. I'm just like, I don't want to go. It's another tutorial section. It's another map. It's another, even though it's smaller, yeah, but it's another map game. It's like, man, it's just daunting right now. And like, so I was like, play that, and I was like, this wasn't click for me. I kind of wish it was like a good small like indie game right now to kind of break up, because like kind of throughout the years, like I found like some good like indie games on like on Game Pass stuff like that where I've like just played through them like it's just a fun little like Ravenlock or Cocoon or Venba, just something like nice that was like a few hours long to shorter even, and it was just like a great time. It was like a fun, chill game that I just had a good time with, and it's like kind of broke up that these big games I've been playing all year. And it was like nice, like AEW Forever even was like a fun little side game to play to like
Yeah.
like bridge between the next big game. It's like now I'm at the point now where it's like, man, I got like Mario RPG sitting here, I got Mirage sitting here, I want to play Thirsty Suitors. Like I was thinking like, oh, that could be the good game for me, but I looked it up. It's like a 7 hour game. Like that's not too long. That's fine. Like that's a game I heard is really great. I want to play, but it's like fuck, man, I don't want to like 7 hour. Like that's something I just need something short and like I just need like a game like a junk food game is what I'm looking for right now. Um, and
Mm.
I started playing Remnant 2, which just kind of shadow dropped on
Yeah.
Game Pass that and Remnant 1 the other day. And I've heard good things about it, and it looks like a from everything it looks like a third person shooter, almost like if a Gears game got turned into a Souls like. Like that sounds
Oh.
pretty cool to me, and like it is very live servicey where you have like the little hub area you go through and you talk to all the people and like you have the gear and you have power levels and shit like that, which kind of I don't know sucks. Here's how I gotta mention something here right now. I'm playing this game like there is
What?
so this is a multiplayer game as well. I'm playing it offline. You can actually
Yeah.
turn it to offline. What is it about Souls like games that doesn't let you fucking pause? Why is every FromSoft game, why is every video game that's a Souls like just not have a pause button? What are we doing? Even like offline. Why? What is the point? These games are frustrating and difficult and stressful enough. Why can't I fucking pause them?
Yes.
It's
I don't know. That's a good
maddening to me.
question, Tyler. That's something I've been wondering to myself too for years, but at the same time, I can understand where it could add a lot of
That's not
tension
fun.
to a
But
lot
that's
of
not
things
fun tension. That's just like I gotta take a piss, but there's like 6 guys around me, and I gotta get through these, and I can't pause.
before
Yeah,
you get
it's like I
ganked.
can't pause, or my dog's gotta go outside, or like God forbid you got a family, you know, and like you got kids or you got a wife or a husband or whatever, just life in general. You get a phone call, like shit happens. I gotta pee. I drink a lot of water. I gotta pee a lot. So it's like fuck. I gotta pee, but I gotta hold for 10 minutes. And I gotta kill everybody in this area before I can go piss now, or I gotta die and do the whole thing again. It's fucking annoying. It's fucking
Yeah.
figure the shit out. And I don't want to hear about it. I'm fine. The difficulty shit, I'm over it. I don't care about it. I don't want to hear about the get good. Fuck you. I'm talking about that. Let me pause the fucking game. We've been doing it since the goddamn 80s. It's over 40. It's been doing it longer than we've been goddamn alive. Just like fucking pause the fucking game. Fuck. Anyways, Remnant 2. God, I don't know. It's been a while since I've done that. Anyways, Remnant 2 though. Fun game. I enjoy it. It's difficult, but it's not like brutal difficult. But you can like get fucked up real fast when you fight some enemies. But it's I like it a lot. I don't know if it's a game for me. Like, A, because you can't pause. B, I just don't like. I oh god, what's that fucking game that came out? It was the People Can Fly game in 2021 that came to Game Pass.
Hmm.
Out, out,
Huh.
runner, out, wire. Out. Anyways, it was like a really good. It was basically like almost like a live, like just like this, but it didn't have the live service parts of it. You know, it was just like it was a you had powers. What?
Outriders.
Yes, thank you.
Outriders.
Like that was like that's what I'm thinking. Like that's the game I need right now. It's like here's this game that like it's very much like this in the same vein, but it doesn't have the live service elements to it. You can do it online, you can do it offline, you can fucking pause the goddamn video game. Um, and like that's the kind of game I'm like I was like, man, that could be like a perfect game right now. Like turn my brain off, have a good time, and just just fuck with a bunch of enemies, level up, shit like that. Like that sounds perfect. And like it's unfortunately not that. Um, like I said, I don't like the live stream. I don't like fucking have to run to 15 different people because this person does this gear and this person does this shit. I got a million things in my inventory that I don't understand what the fuck they mean. And like I need 6 of these fucking things to upgrade to this. I'm like this like I don't want all this shit. I just want I like I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's a bad time for me type of game right now. Like this is a game I could definitely see myself like getting into like in like a slower part of the year for me, or it's like just when I have more free time. But it's like, man, this is not the game I want right now. But like, I enjoy the game. I think the shooting is fantastic, like really good. The
Yeah.
the gameplay is fun. The story is like whatever. It's like perfect actually for what I'm looking for. Like I barely gotta pay attention. It's like there's like other dimensions. Creatures came into like Earth and fucked it up, and now everybody's like living in like this destroyed Earth. But yeah, like you like go to these other dimensions, like you gotta fight through like ways enemies. Like right now, like I'm doing like I did like the first mission where you gotta like find Clementine and this other dude Ford. Um, but yeah, I liked it. Like it felt good. Like I could see why people love this game. I really do. But I just think for where I'm
Hmm.
at right now in mental uh space, I guess, where I'm like I just want to turn my brain off right now. Just it's not clicking for me right now. I can see myself like I said going back maybe couple months from now when it's like things are a little not as crazy and it's like this is the kind of game I'm looking for. But yeah, I get it though. I get this. I get like why people want to play this game. A lot of people why people love this game. But
Hmm.
that's pretty much it for me, Gables. It's pretty much all I've been playing. Like I said, I've been playing a lot. But Gables, let's get out of here, buddy. Um, my headphones
Alrighty.
just fucking died. So we're getting through this podcast. Gable. I can't hear you, but get on out of here. Um, I was host. I was Tyler. That's been Colonel Gables. I can't
And
hear
I
you.
have
I'm
been Colonel
talking over you.
Gables. So yeah, Sonic rules.